We're hitting record. We'll give everybody one more minute to pop in while Steve and I introduce ourselves. So I see so many familiar faces from yesterday and from tech calls and from growth calls. I am so excited to see you guys. Hi, Sean. Is your mind still like from yesterday's tech call? You gonna build a better cheeseburger? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, well, if you don't know me, I am Brooke Silva. I am your regional technology trainer here at Keller Williams, New England. And that is the worst title ever because it tells about nothing that I actually get to do in my job. It, right? It makes it sound like I'm just a nerd, and I am so much more than that for you guys. I promise, right, Steve?
Yes,
Yes, I'm going to drive you insane for the rest of your career here.
she's she's our she's our nerd. She's our dance instructor and the musical director.
And costume design. You never know. I might pop into your market center in a costume one of these days. Be scared, be prepared.
She's definitely a morning person too.
I am. I am. I've been up since four, friends. Workout, 5-year old, all kinds of things going. So joined with me is my favorite dance partner on the planet, Steve. So Steve, why don't you introduce yourself, why you love dancing with me, and what you do in your market center?
I'm Steve DeAngelis. I've been an agent for 11 years now. This is my second career in life. I'm the market center technical trainer for Keller Williams Coastal, which is a newly formed entity. We merged two market centers, 184 Central Rhode Island and 700 Newport. Um, and so we kind of circle the bay. Um, I get to I'm the chief techno weenie. I get to teach all the new agents how to use all the Keller Williams technology, and I get the trouble phone calls, Friday at 10 o'clock at night when someone doesn't understand how to do something. So you've got us for 4 hours this morning.
Maybe
Um,
less.
okay, 3.5 hours. Um, we're here to ask us questions. I have two rules when I'm doing one of these classes. Number one, there's no button on the screen that will destroy the universe. So try things. Number two, the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. If you have a question about something, don't be embarrassed to ask about it because I bet you there's 4 or 5 other people sitting in on the call that have the exact same question. And the worst thing that can happen is you don't understand something fully and you walk away and do it wrong. So if you have a question, ask it. No one's going to laugh at you, and everything will be fine.
I mean, I'll go off screen and laugh at you. I'll just shut my camera off. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. I love to laugh with you guys, but I'm not going to laugh at you. And I have one other rule that I would love. So, oftentimes when we are doing this on Zoom, the energy Steve and I get is when we get to see your faces. I don't care if you didn't do your hair. I don't care if you didn't take off your makeup last night. I don't care if you think you look like a train wreck. You're gorgeous to us. So, take a moment to clear your space, clear your head, throw your video on if you can, because I would love to see your faces. Also, it is really hard when I go into the market centers and I'm like, who are you? You're always on the Zooms with me? Oh, you. See, I don't recognize you because you're not in a big black box with your name across it. Right? So it's really hard for us to connect the dots sometimes to who you are. But I love seeing you guys when I get to go into the market centers. And I'm coming to Connecticut, so get ready. So if I have any Connecticut peeps in here, get ready, database to data bank. Talk to your market center. I'm coming down. Deb, did you have fun in it yesterday? Debbie? Debbie Courtney with the weird Greek name? Yeah, oh, she got bad internet. We're not playing with that game today. We're muting you.
Yeah, that was.
Okay. Yeah, that was a little crunchy this morning, but that's okay. Internet gets better, friends, as we go, I promise. All right. So I was really excited to start to teach this with Steve because he and I both feel very strongly about real estate school. And real estate school does one thing and it does a lot of no other things. Right? So a lot of times, Steve, right? So what does real estate school do, Steve?
Teaches you to pass the test.
That's all it does. That's all it does. I often refer to you guys as my minions, right? You come in as a brand new agent and your eyeballs are like this big in the glasses because you're like, oh my God, we didn't talk about any of these things in school. There was no financial literacy class. I mean, unless you went to some top of the line Ivy League real estate school, I can tell you they did not talk about what profit really looks like, what financials really look like, or what happens if you don't plan for your taxes. What else didn't you like about real estate school, Steve?
Um,
Everything,
Everything.
right? It
I mean,
doesn't teach you anything. It teaches you how to stay out of real estate jail, right? And how to not lose your license. It's basics.
well, what I laughed about the most when I was in school was we spent 2 days learning about U.S. survey, which is wonderful if you're selling property west of the Appalachians. But if you're here in New England,
Right.
you know, we don't use U.S. survey. We use nets and bounds. Look for the oak tree, turn left.
Right.
Um,
At the old
and
cemetery near the schoolhouse and the first gas station in New England, right?
right. So they spend a lot of time because it's a national test that you're taking. They spend a lot of time on stuff that you're never ever going to use. And I think in my class we spent 1 day on law.
Yeah.
And of the 65 people that were in my class, 12 of us passed on the first go round because everyone else failed the law portion because it just wasn't stressed enough.
You know, and one of the things that we need to talk about more is the financial literacy part of owning a business. Because guys, you own your own real estate business now. You pass monopoly, you get a monocle, you get a hotel on the board. You are real estate professionals who own your own real estate business now. So there's nobody here who's going to tell you every day how to move the money around once you get the check. So that's what today is for. And I have some really fun tools. I have such fun. Of course, we're nerds. We have tools. We have things we like to do. And one of my favorite tools is in Command for you guys too. And Keller Williams has negotiated a huge discount on this app. So we'll get to that part. So today's to teach you guys about some habits for financial literacy. Oh, maybe I should pull the PowerPoint up. I'm not a fan of PowerPoints, as you saw yesterday if you were in my class. All right, everybody sees my PowerPoint. Is it gorgeous? Okay, we're igniting. Yay. So one of the things we need to do as agents every day is we need to grow our business and we need to run our business. What is the one thing agents are supposed to do every single day? What's your one job? You can put it in the chat.
Lead generate.
You got it, baby. Lead gen. That's a weird phrase. Ignite shows you how to do some of these things. But if that still is that's a trigger word for you, let's get into leadership. Let's talk to people. Let's get into classes and we'll talk about what lead gen is. But Keller Williams makes it easy. We've got model systems and tools for you guys to make sure that when you get that check and you're like, this is $17,438.22. And you're like, what is this? This is my money. No, friends, this is not all your money. And we're going to figure out how to do that today. So by a show of digital or human hands, how many of you have a separate checking account for your business? I want to see hands. How many of you have a separate savings account for your business? Oh, you have homework if you're not raising your hand. Right at the top of your paper right now. Open business checking, open business savings. That's what I don't care if you do anything else from today. Open that. Give the Market Center your new shiny updated checking account number, debit card check, whatever you have. Because this is going to be life-changing. Life-changing, okay? How many of you, by a show of hands, are using some type of account tracking system for your expenses? Yay! Okay. What are you using? What program? You can put it in chat.
Again,
Quicken for self-employed is usually the easiest one. Anybody using anything else? Excel. Okay. Mint.
Mint.
Yeah, Mint's a great app. Awesome. Okay, we're going to talk about some other applications that will help you. And how many of you track your mileage? If you are not tracking your mileage, you are going to cry come tax time. You're going to cry. In the last month, I've put 585 miles into my mileage tracker, which isn't a lot. It is. But yes, have an app for mileage. And I'm going to show you a really cool app today, too. That's part of that command app I was talking to you about earlier that tracks expenses, tells you what you should be possibly putting aside for taxes and mileage. All right, I guess we'll go back to our slideshow. Okay. Feel free to interrupt us or go into the chat because it's a little weird when you're presenting and we can't really see you. All right. So what we're going to learn about today is really how do we manage the check when it comes in? So we're growing, right? We're lead genning. We're doing all our listing presentations, buyer presentations. We're looking at real estate. We're knowing our numbers. And then when we're running our business, right, we're marketing the listings. We're showing buyer houses. We're negotiating contracts. Sometimes transaction management, unless you're using a transaction coordinator. You're setting goals. You're learning about compliance and risk. And the last thing you're doing, you're managing your monies, right? So today we're going to talk about, like we said, what real estate school did not teach us and where we need to be to make sure you're financially sound. All right, so now on page 3 of your guide, it talks about these things. And I know this is a word you guys probably hear over and over, but MREA. MREA, MREA, MREA. You're going to get sick of it. It's going to become ingrained in your brain. Every time you read it, you'll pick up something different. But there are proven models to help you with these things. So some of these habits, let's read over them, take a second and look at them. And let's go down the list and talk about why they're important. Why do you think some of these are important habits? And I'll give you guys a minute to read over them.
And for Jennifer and anyone else that's looking for it, I just put a link in the chat that will take you out to the guide for this presentation.
I think you put it in a private chat because I don't see it. You already private chatting with people? Come on.
No, it's there.
Now it is. I heard that click. All right, guys. So pick one. Let's talk about it, why it's important. We'll just go through a few.
Pay yourself.
You gotta pay your... But if you don't know what to pay yourself, how do you know what to pay yourself?
I wanted to say, if you set yourself up as a business, or if you think of yourself as a Walmart or like just a regular big business, they do the same things that you have to do. So you have to save for costs, save for taxes, save for any other expenses, pay others, have a team, and then you pay yourself afterwards. That's the biggest tip I'm learning from it.
Yeah, you are a business owner. And like I said, real estate school, they don't say this. No, this is how you balance your business checkbook. This is what cost of sales means. This is what return on investment means. You guys have to quickly come up to speed so that you don't make mistakes that could be costly when it comes to taxes. And so that you don't feel like your business is failing. Because at the end of the year, sometimes we go through these things and we're like, oh my God, I did not do great. And then you look at what you got in commissions and gross, and you're like, oh, okay, then maybe I need to manage my money a little different. All right.
one thing I don't see on here that's very important is to make sure you set aside some for retirement. Open up a 401k for yourself.
Yeah. And I think profit goal leads into that too, right? So profit goals could be, what are you doing to invest the money you're getting in wealth? How are you building wealth? And wealth can be a scary word, but it doesn't need to be, because wealth can start in any level. It's how you're reinvesting into yourself, your business, and the things that you want to make more wealth. All right. So a lot of the time, agents will confuse income with profit. Okay. They don't save for taxes. They don't understand to take out a certain percentage, move it over, right? They don't make use of the tools. They don't understand financials, and you guys just wing it. A hope and a prayer is not a business plan, right? You don't plan for monthly salary, and you're not preparing. And a lot of this is because some of us we're not conditioned to speak about money. We're not conditioned to speak about our pay or what our home needs are. Right? But I'm telling you, the people in your market center, your leadership, we love you. We want you to have a bigger life funded by what you do. Because there's an ability to make a lot of money, and you can do it correctly in this world. So you can have a big life and fund the things you want. Gary says, money is good for the good it can do. And what does that mean, right? Family, community. Maybe you are at a point in your life where you want to give back. Maybe you want to open different businesses. Maybe you want to put a kid through college. The things that we want the money for is always personal and different. Now, guys, what is the purpose of business? Not real estate business, but just business.
Serve others.
Serve others. What else?
Make a profit.
Make a profit. Exactly. We got to make money. Okay. And in order to do that, we're going to set some goals. Okay. So now let's flip. I think it's on page 4. Might be a little different because I'm using the instructor one. But let's go over these 2 scenarios, right? So you can see that this agent sold a house, and their commission is $9,000. Out of that, Jessica Campbell, who is our fake agent across the board at KW, this is what she receives. Now, read these over, and I want you to tell me this scenario. 1 on the left, the financially sound one, or is number 2 on the right the financially sound one? Yep. Pop it into the chat or come right off of mute and tell me. Yep. On the right. On the right.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. So what we see is Jess sold a house. She got her check for her, what was due to her after whatever is going on in the market center. On the left, she popped the whole thing right into her wallet. She was going out and getting a new coach, maybe some Louboutins, and off she went, right? On the right-hand side, she got her paycheck. Something went to her business account. Something went to her savings account. And then she broke it down into what she needs to save for taxes. Now, what you need to save for taxes, you need to speak to a CPA, an accountant, someone about, right? 40% may be too high. That is what we usually just say is an overall wee. But any of the things we talk about today, make sure you do run things by an accountant. Steve, talk about your Brenda. Because did you try to do this for a long time?
I tried my first year. I thought, oh hell, it's just doing the taxes. That's easy. And luckily, I had money in my savings account because yes, I got my first commission check and it was party time.
You got some new high heels, a new Coach purse.
No, but I went to Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Oh my God!
I had a great time. I had a great time. And then when tax time came around, um, honestly, no one ever said put money away for taxes. It was just, I had worked for a corporation for 27 years. They dealt with all that stuff. Um, and so when I went to do my taxes, I had to write a couple of big fat checks out, and I was not happy. And I didn't have a good record keeping system. I did have my mileage, but I was using my personal credit card for business expenses, and who knows what was going on. And this was back when you could deduct lunches. So was the lunch a business lunch or not? Um, so the person who was my mentor sat me down and said, "Look, this is the CPA I use. Give them a call. They will, and so I met with one of the junior accountants, Brenda, and she gave me a simple spreadsheet, and she said, every weekend you got to fill this thing out and send it to me. And it was, my mileage, any expenses I had. It was basically a chart of accounts. And she would take that spreadsheet, and then she would send me a message. Okay, every time I had a closing, I'd let her know how much the check was, and then she'd say, okay, put this much in this account and this much in that account, and the rest, is play money. So we were putting 40% away. So when I did my taxes the next year, I got money back from the government, which was a very comforting feeling. But I still use her. She every week, literally Sunday afternoon, I sit down and I pull out all my receipts. I pull up my checking account to see what I paid, and I send all the information over to her office. She now has her own business, so she doesn't personally do my stuff. Someone else does, but it's my Brenda time, and you sit down, you compile all this stuff. I have a big envelope that's in my briefcase that if I have to get a receipt, it goes in the envelope. If I pay for something online, I have an online envelope, and at the end of the week, all that stuff gets transmitted over to the accounting company.
Yep. Yep. And we've got to do those things, right? And again, real estate school, or maybe in your first 30 days, this was not talked about. We're here to tell you guys we have to do these things. So, you might not need a Brenda in the beginning, but just like during the transaction, we'll talk about things like, why are you trying to figure out the answers to the mortgage or title or home inspection question instead of just reaching out to the people who are licensed or have the education, or this is their role? Oftentimes, as new agents, we sit in a room with other new agents and we're like, how do we talk about this? What is this on the mortgage? How do I explain this? But yet we are so big on problem solving and figuring it out that we're literally beating our heads against the wall instead of just going to the professionals. So I will urge you to please reach out to your office, find out who other people use and recommend, and then add them to your vendor list. Add them to your cheeseburger, right?
And
So
and
go
to
ahead,
make
Steve,
things
sorry.
to make things a little easier for you, I just put a spreadsheet in the chat. It's the MREA chart of accounts. Download it and use it and abuse it.
Yep.
It's a great way of because it's a great way of tracking your expenses. A year after you've been in business, you're not going to remember what you spent a
Nope.
year ago on something, and you're probably not going to be able to find the receipt.
No.
So you really want to get yourself into the discipline of every week you compile your expenses, you compile your revenue, you have your receipts, so that at tax time everything's right there.
Yep. Make it a habit. Make it a habit so that come tax time, you're not spending hours untangling what you bought on your personal accounts. Look up, Robert. It's right above you in the chat.
On that note, I have a question.
Yep.
Now that we're talking about, this is something that we should be doing. A lot of us have already been in this for a month, couple months. Backtracking, what can we look back and maybe add to that add to that pile, like our class or our license fee or
So I would. So I would pull out anything you've done in relation to your real estate business, whether it's buying pens, office supplies, your mileage, anything. And then it's up to your accountant at the end of the year to really look at all those things and tell you what you can write off, what was a business expense. And it becomes a learning experience. So the best advice I ever got from the accountant was track everything. Track everything, Brookie, and then it's my job to tell you what we're going to use or not use and be organized about it. So go back and make copies. If you bought something online, print it out, put it in a folder. Just put everything in one spot you can easily find.
Someone told me you can even use the square footage in your home if you're using it as an at-home office.
Yep,
You can
there's
add
all
that
kinds of
also.
things.
Yeah.
And the only thing I always caution people is the rules change constantly. My husband's a paramedic. We used to be able to write off his boots, his belt, and the uniforms he could buy. That stopped last year. It's coming back this year. Okay? All right. Thank you for that, though. Yeah, but again, everything. And when you talk to a tax professional, these people know the laws and the rules inside and out, and it covers you a little bit. All right. So this is what Jessica's financially sound business was, right? So she did the right things, the transaction, the commission, the net payment, and what she ended up putting in her pocket. Okay. So now let's talk about my favorite things in the world, the models, because the models work. We wouldn't be using the same book over and over and over if they didn't work. Okay. So what you're seeing here is the economic model. And I urge you guys to join us in October for the MRE book club. I know that sounds like the most nerdy real estate thing ever, but I'm telling you, it is so much fun because if you haven't read it, we go over it at a quick level so you're able to understand and take out of it what you need. Okay? So what you see here are the percentages that are suggested that you move things around, okay? So GCI, one of those words we throw around often, gross commission income. And then, so you have expenses. So these are your cost of sales and these are your operating expenses. Then from that, you are supposed to have 40% profit. Now, I've had a lot of businesses in my life. I've run a lot of companies before this. 40% profit is huge. There are not a lot of other businesses that will offer the business owner 40% profit. That is a lot. That is a lot. Oh, Carol, I see. Steve, can you try to private message it to Carol? I see it in there. It might just take a minute on your end, Carol, if your internet's slower.
I just sent her a message.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's look at that money-wise because we have percentages. So if your gross commission income was $10,000 check, your cost of sales may have been around $3,000. So that's that 30%. Your operating expenses, $3,000. Your profits, $4,000. And guys, don't worry. All these things are also all over the place. There are tools in career visioning on Connect where you can pop these numbers in and it will calculate it for you. This is not going to be like an algebra or trigonometry class. I'm going to let you guys, instead of doing the breakout after work, you can work on this tonight where you're comfortable in your pajamas, maybe crack a brewski and look at your finances, okay? Whoops. Okay, so let's talk about the flow of money. Again, we said the goal. So what we usually do, income is what goes in, expense is what goes out, profit's what's left. But if we started thinking profit first, things might change in your brain a little. How many of you have read Profit First by Michael Michalowicz? I think that's his last name. I met him. He's awesome. If I talk about any books, they're usually on my website. I don't know if I added this one recently, but if you go to brookthenerd.com and you go to my bookshelf, instead of scribbling and going like crazy, all the books I talk about are usually on my website. So the formula to calculate profit, super important. But we don't always track our goals by what we're putting in our pocket at the end of the day, right? How many of you have sat with your coach and they said, okay, what do you want to make this year? Right? It's not usually, I would like to take it home to, I'd like $3,242.22 every other week in my bank account, right? We go with some big generic numbers to try to break it down to see what we have to do and the things we have to do to make those things happen. How many calls do we have to make? How many handwritten note cards? How many appointments do we have to have? How many closings on each side do we have to have, right? You need to ask yourselves, not how much do I want to make, but how much do I want to have in my bank accounts at the end of the year, right? Then you need to work and figure out how many homes do I need to sell this year. And then my other favorite thing is how can I minimize my expenses, right? Especially in the beginning, how many of you get bombarded every day with all kinds of coupons from all these people or lead gen promises? How many of you get an email? Guaranteed leads, guaranteed to close. 3 people in your inbox every day. It's all bullshit. Okay? Because what happens in the beginning is you guys don't have the know-how to be speed to lead and grab these people and convert them. So you're bombarded. They are preying on the weakness of brandy new agents who are lured into gimme leads. Gimme leads. Ignore those emails. Blow by them. I truly believe in this world, unless you are running a mega team, you should never pay for a lead. When a data bank is worked properly, it will feed you for life. Big, juicy cheeseburger, friends, okay? So you may hear this term in the MRE, and it's one of my favorite things. I do it with my kids, my older kids too. We do red light, green light. Okay? Is this needed and necessary for my business? Or would this be nice to have in my business? Right? Red light, green light. What do you need right now? Could you make a coffee at home? Probably. Do I need to go to Starbucks 6 times a day? Yes. I have an addiction. Debbie figured this out yesterday. Coffee bean is my birthstone. But it really isn't needed and I shouldn't do it. Okay? So if we started thinking about profit as a goal, minimizing expenses, you would really come to the understanding of how many homes you need to sell to move forward. Okay? So income from your real estate business. This is a lot of different things, guys. This is listing income, sales income from buyers. You ready for this one? Referral income. Our agents are not verbose enough in their world about the power of our real estate network. My husband is now a referral only agent, and we have a wonderful stream of income from referral only because we have a network of people across the United States. Right? Tap into our referral network. It's a great stream of revenue for just connecting people. It's really easy. And then leasing income. In the beginning, some of the phone calls you may get may be around renters, right? That's okay. Take that flat fee, work those people, get them from rent to buy. Nurture them with your mortgage professionals. Don't discount renters, okay? Cost of sales. Now, Steve, do you want to take this one? Because as a realtor, you know what these cost of sales are. You feel this every day, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first of all, the cost of making your sale, the big chunk of that is the fee you pay to your brokerage. When you get your 1099 next February, it's going to list the gross commission that you got from every sale you participated in. It will also show the breakouts, how much was paid to royalty, how much was paid to the brokerage, etc. You also need to add into that any fees you paid. You got your NAR membership, you've got your local board membership, and you've got your state association membership. any classes you took, office supplies, your cell phone bill, your internet bill, all of that stuff is an expense. Your mileage. If you don't have a cell phone mileage tracker, get one.
I'm gonna give you one. Trust me. I'm gonna show you after. It's so
You
good.
know, I use Mile IQ. It you know it just records it records where you travel, and it's got some artificial intelligence in it, so it knows that, you know, if you're driving to this one location every day, you know, once you tag it as a business or a personal, it forever tags that. But your mileage, education's a big one. Everyone signs up for a class and spends the $30 and they forget all about it. Well, yeah, but you're taking, you know, 8 to 10 classes a year.
And sometimes you're paying for your CEUs if you forget about your CEUs. And when you become multi-state licensed, like many of you do in New England, because we can, like, you know, reach out and touch from some states to the other, that you may not every CEU covers multi-state. So if you forget to do what you're supposed to do, and guys, also track your CEUs, track them, because you may not have to hand them in, but if you get audited and can't prove it, oh, it's so yucky. But anyway, those are also, it is. I just had to have help someone untangle it. It was not pretty. That person was my husband. So track everything, including the CEUs. Okay.
You know, like another thing people forget about is printing costs.
Mm-hmm. Those go on your invoices. Keep your invoices.
Keep your invoices. You know, get that big envelope or a box and keep it, you know, keep it in your briefcase or keep it on the front seat of your car. You know, put all that stuff in. If you're if you're doing an open house and you know, you're like me, and I'm known for making chocolate chip cookies in the house when I'm doing an open house, so the place smells nice. So whenever I'm doing an open house, I have to buy a thing of chocolate chip cookies, you know, the little squares you break off, and flowers for the, you know, to put around the house so it looks fresh and alive. Those are all business expenses. Any advertising you do, if you buy signs, if you do ads on, you know, social media, or if you get sucked into one of these newspapers that makes you, you know, spend $200 for an ad, those are all business expenses. And if you're not sure if something is a good expense or not, save it. Let a professional tell you, you know, yes, you know, okay, you can't, you know, you can take this, you can't take that. It's better to have too much stuff to go through than not enough.
Agree. All right.
The one thing I learned about real estate is you have to become very anal to be a good realtor, because you have to have certain disciplines that you do every single day. We always beat in your head, you know, lead gen, do it in the morning, and then at the end of the week, compile, put all your expenses together.
Yes.
I know the app for, just like you said, keeping track of your miles. There's also an app where you can download your receipts into a folder instead of, if you're an organized person,
yes,
you can literally just download the receipts and it sends it to a folder, and then you can send it to your accountant when you're ready. So
yeah, a lot of like QuickBooks has a receipt capture. So if you show some expenses still require proof of a paper receipt, still hold on to them, but there's so many things where you just snap it with your phone and it goes right in. All right. So let's dig into the cost of sales.
And if I may interrupt for a second,
Fine.
It is better to scan them into something, because stores do not use expensive ink or paper, and those receipts fade. When you scan the image in, as Nellie said, and put it into a folder, unless your computer explodes, you've got it.
Dude, the cloud is magic. As a former person who sold cloud is magic. It is there forever. I can always get it back down. The cloud is duplicated and replicated a million times over. We can always find the cloud. However, that folder that's been sitting in the sun in your car, those are sometimes thermal printouts. Those will go away because they are thermal. So be careful with those. Take a picture. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's dig into the company dollar. Very unique the way Keller Williams do it. We have some of the lowest ones. And if you don't know what your company dollar is, please ask, because it's very slightly from market center to market center, and it's determined by them. Royalty is capped at 3,000. So let's look at this formula, okay? Is it going to give it to me, this silly thing? Sometimes these PowerPoints. All right. So this is I'm just going to talk through it. This is not the exercise we're going to do. This is the one you're going to do tonight after you open your bank accounts. Online banking, you have no excuse. You don't even have to go into the bank. You can open an account anywhere and anytime. Telling you, okay? So what we're going to do is, we're going to put our gross commission income. That's that GCI. Cost of sales. I love how they use the dollar sign for the sales, right? So we're going to times our GCI by 30%. And then we're going to minus our royalty to get our net commission. Okay. So then now say you've capped. So this is what the two things are here. The top is if you haven't capped. So if you haven't paid in all your company dollar. And the second is if you've capped on royalty and have not capped on company dollar. So maybe you've paid in your 3,000. Now this is how you figure out your net commission. Okay, guys. This is easier to do by yourself, I think, in the book, figuring it out when you know, only because everybody's caps are different, okay? What time we got? 9:42. We are doing good. Whoops. Hello. There.
Slow down, Brooke. Slow down.
My mouse, it's not me, I swear. My mouse is having like a mini meltdown right now. Okay? That's okay. See, tech people, we have problems too. Go back. Go back. Oh, no, Steve. My computer on this side. Hold on, let me stop sharing for a minute, guys. It's having a moment. It's having a little mini meltdown.
I think your coffee's finally catching up to you.
Oh, my goodness. There we go. Sometimes when you're sharing, it's just not your computer's not happy. All right. So tonight, your homework, open bank accounts, review some of the products we're going to show you that might help you streamline this, and then go over those calculators, the financial spreadsheet, the, what's that thing, Steve, called? Our Excel sheet we dropped in?
The MREA chart of accounts.
Chart of accounts. Thank you.
And for those of you that couldn't find it, just put your email in the chat and I'll email it to you.
Yeah, and I think, you know what we can also do, Steve? If you've got the Ignite folder open, drop it in there into the student resources. I think it might be in the student resources already, but if you want to drop it in there, that might make it easier too.
Okay.
All right, so let's build our future peoples, right? Because at some point you want to be megas and you just want other people to do the work, right? Maybe you're referring. All right. So we're going to plan for our future with profit because we were flipping the script on what we saw before, right? So let's talk about profit. And I think this might be in page 10 in your guide. 10 or 11, depends on which version you have. So for this, they're going to use a very broad amount. This is actually the amount most people say to us that they want to bring home. Right? This is what they want to profit in their business, is about $100,000. Is that what somebody told their coach? It's usually what most people tell their coaches. Oh, I would like to profit $100,000. Okay. So write down what you want to profit. Okay. Now, we're going to divide that profit by 60%. And that's going to, there's a lot of sixes in things we do at KW. Did you notice that, Steve? 66-day challenge. Like, there's always sixes running around after me here. So now to get that gross commission income, we're going to divide the previous line, which is gross profit goal, and your gross profit, I'm sorry, the 166 by 40%. Okay. Now, this is when it can get a little weird because it depends on your market, right? Where when I left, my average home sales price was very high. So, and then the commission was really high in our market center, right? But this is the home sales. So, this is the number of homes you have to sell to get to that. This is a made up number. This may not be your cap and royalty, right? You may have slightly higher cap, slightly lower cap, but again, royalty is always the 3,000. And this is what the operating expense. So what happens is we only think about these numbers once a year, maybe twice a year, right? We do it when we're planning our goals. How many of you have taken business planning clinic? If you haven't, next class, you will love it. It dives even deeper into how to do some of these things, okay? We only think about these numbers twice a year, when we're in trouble or when we're doing our future goals. These should be something you are set aside and time blocked to look at every week, every month, every quarter, because our quarters and our timelines for real estate run very different. You're not going to get a buyer on December 1st and necessarily close it in that same year, right? That's a 30, 60, 90. We're not going to get them in a house and closed most times in 30 days. So our year is done, right? Our year is done. So make sure you are digging into these things early. All right. So here are some of our best practices. Just a short checklist. Some of these things are hard. That's okay. We'll get you there. But know your big why. Get clarity. The end goal is usually money, but it's how you're going to use the money from your business to feed your big life and your big why. Okay? You got to set up personal and business budgets. You got to do that red light, green light constantly. Do I need it? Do I have to have it? Do I want it? Is it necessary? Okay. Set up your business. A lot of people, as they get cooking, they set up LLCs or different types of corporations, depending on the state you're in, because it makes it easier for you guys to report taxes or health insurance. There's all kinds of different reasons to do it. Speak to a professional about that, because that's really based on life goals, income, stuff like that. Okay. Oh, look, they tell you right here, open additional bank accounts for taxes, expenses, and other savings. Use the MRE chart of accounts, purchase or download some tax accounting software, hire an accountant, set dates. Set dates. So that's that time blocking we talk about, right? I would love if everybody put in their calendar on a certain day of the week to review expenses. Do it when you know you're going to do it. Don't put it at 10 a.m. That's your lead gen time. Don't put it at 8 p.m. You're exhausted. Find a time. Maybe you treat yourself to lunch and you go over your expenses, right? Make yourself a nice lunch. And then prepare for your future. So we're talking insurance, we're talking savings, and Charles, here's that word, investments, right?
Okay.
Investments.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I'm Lourdes.
Oh, there you are. I see you now.
Yeah. So, if I open an account, I don't have the money to put in because I still didn't have my first client. Maybe I will have this soon. We'll see. But just open and that's it, or I should wait when I have my first client?
Do it now. Do it now. Ask your bank. Say how. Usually it's just move $5 over. Most of your banks already have free checking, right? So just open a free checking and this becomes your business account. I'm not saying open a business Black Amex. Don't open a business money market. Start with a free checking account that is separate. And then when you get your first commission check, open your savings and move that over for taxes, right?
Okay.
Use your savings for that. But
Thank you.
Yeah, free checking at your bank. And if your bank doesn't offer free checking, find a bank that does.
Yes.
You should have free banking. You should
All
have
right, thank you.
in this day and
Now,
age, there's no reason to not have free checking accounts. Okay.
all right, thank you.
I have a great CPA. Like I said before, my husband is a paramedic. There's a lot of weird things. Andy's a realtor, right? So there's a lot of weird things in the past we didn't even know we were allowed to use to his advantage in our different jobs. As a dual career agent, it was really unique because he had two businesses with a lot of intersection too. So sometimes he'd be going to a class and then meeting a client after, and it was really hard to kind of dig through what mileage belonged to which thing because he was at different starting points than home base. Our accountant really helped us learn how to organize and account for all those things, right? So apps like what we're going to show you in a minute really help you decide, okay, which business is this in? Is it personal? Sometimes it's like dating apps. Swipe left, swipe right, and you know where you're supposed to be going, okay? Let's exit out of this. Let me get this. And I'm going to show you guys in Command my favorite tool and the one I use every single day. Give me a second. I know you guys have popped in a whole bunch of different ones. All right. Oops. No. Come. All right, welcome to Command. A lot of people don't know about the marketplace that lives inside Command. At the top right, you can hover over this little store and it's called Marketplace. This is also where you can access all kinds of free trainings from our enablement team that are live trainings with people at KWRI. Sometimes I pop into them. But there's all kinds of things that you can integrate or take advantage of the discounts that Keller Williams has negotiated on behalf of their agents. This is so fun. If you're not sure about something, reach out to your Market Center tech trainer or me at any time, and I can tell you if it's something you could use in your business right now, or if it's something you don't, or you can hold off on. So the app we're going to look at is called Hurdler, and if you just type in HURD, you'll be able to find it. So it is a mileage and expense tracker. This is the easiest one. I've used Strava. I've used I've used so many, but this is the one I settled on 3 months ago, and it has been life-changing. So usually this app is $8 a month. For you guys, it's only $5. Are there free apps? Absolutely. Do they do the really great things like activity tracking based on your GPS? No. And a lot of the times they will cap you at how many trips you can have a month. If you are new and working with buyers, you may hit that in one day with how many trips you're doing, because it calculates every time a car goes from stop for a certain amount of time to another stop. So I really, really love this one because at the end of the day, I open the app and it takes me about 2 minutes and I go, yep, this was personal. I was picking my kid up, or nope, this was business to a market center. This was business to an agent meeting. And what we're able to do is really just dig in and see what you're doing for expenses. All right, let me put this in the chat, because if I put this link here, this may bring you right to it if you're logged into my KW or into your Command. So there's things like automatic mileage tracking. Oh my God. There are real-time tax estimates. So if you connect this to your business checking account, because you can connect through Plaid to any account. It will pull in income and expenses. And again, then you can also swipe for personal, swipe for business. And it gives you estimates on what your tax may be. And this is specific to real estate. So when you're in here, you can even attach it to a listing or a buyer. So you can say this expense went to this listing. This expense was with this buyer. This was generic, which is cool because a lot of our mileage apps like Strava, MileIQ are not specific to the real estate industry. This is specific to the real estate industry the way we're doing it. Okay, so you can link with your financials. automatic expense tracking, and you can set up rules. So I have things like a website fee or a stock photo or different things. I have a rule that sets up that it says anytime you see this, mark it as this, which is amazing because I don't even have to think anymore. It just goes into my expenses and it's where it's supposed to be. And I don't have to worry about swiping. Same thing with the market centers. I set up my market centers in there as places of business. So when I drive to those, it automatically knows I'm driving to something that's for business, and it automatically tracks it as a business mileage for me, and I don't have to swipe left or right. $5 a month.
Brooke, if you have difficulty how to learn to do this stuff, do you think you have someone to teach us?
Yep, you reach out to your market center tech trainer on these ones. Which market center are you in?
Well,
Keep in
it's Steve.
Steve will help you.
All right, thank you.
I think Lourdes has me on speed dial.
That's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Because, guys, we are more than just command nerds. If you haven't figured it out from any of the classes you took with us, we want to help you build bigger businesses, and we want you to do it smart. Set yourself up smart in the beginning. Build great habits. I don't care if you don't use Hurdler. I don't care what you use. Just use something, whether you're tracking your business, your clients, your transactions, your expenses. It's so important. So this is one way you can do it. Another great tool we have in the region is RE Profit. Maybe this is something you dig into after your first year. And what this does is it literally charts everything. It's banking account, credit card. They'll help you create a budget, separate out personal and business expenses, automated MREA tracking right into all those accounts that Steve put in earlier. I'll plop that in the chat as well for you guys. And there's some training in there. Not all these places offer training, but since this is a real estate, built for real estate, there are trainings about some best practices, different things you can do for lead gen and stuff like that. Because it'll tell you, you can't afford this. You can't afford this. Can't afford it, okay? The other great thing is, if you put your goals in command, you can track it against your opportunities. Let me say that again for the people in the back who did not hear me or weren't listening or were taking their dog out. If you put your goals in command, you can track it right on your dashboard and home screen. Talks to opportunities, talks to contacts, looks at lead sources, right? So if I know what I need to do, you can look at things month to date. You can look at things year to date. Now, this is a training data bank, so you're not going to see actuals on anything. But what are my goals? How many appointments have I taken? How many are under contract and closed? This is huge, guys. So if you're not sure how to get to your goals, work with your coach, work with someone in leadership to help you build those goals. So that way you can come into your goals under reporting, and all you do is click the plus button, go get started, and it's going to start walking you through right the process, right? So what are your profit goals for next year? Okay. You want to make $1 million. You want to be an MREA. What is your business makeup? Maybe you do 75% listings. My keyboard going to work? There we go. 25% buyers, no leases. Right? Then it gives you conversion rates. As you start to use opportunities, it's going to show you your conversion rates. No guessing. No guessing whatsoever. And then you're going to be able to see everything you need to do. I love this. I'm a visual person. I like to walk into the things I need to do every day and have a visual representation of the activities I need to do. And when we start using things like smart plans and tags and really having a clean data bank, your tasks are going to start rolling in on your homepage, and you're going to start to see how those tasks lead to the goals and where you need to be. I love it. 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 All right, let's pull our PowerPoint back up. Any questions on command and setting the goals, or where I showed you on Hurdler or anything like that before we get going to the next piece?
I do have a question.
Sure.
my market center trainer knows about it, but back when I started a couple months ago, my goals, for some reason, I guess it's a global issue and it only affects a certain number of people, but my goals don't actually track for some reason.
Oh.
Like when I have a whole bunch of leads in my system and it doesn't count my leads. I have my goals in my system. I'm just wondering if you knew anything about that and when it was going to get fixed, because it's been a couple months now.
No, but I would love for you to email me the ticket if you could, so I could read and see into it if you don't mind.
Sure.
And,
Yeah, I gotta search for it.
Yeah.
Charles,
Yep.
do you still have those contacts tagged as leads, or are they off lead status?
I still have most of them tagged as leads, and then there have been some people since then that I've unchecked leads, but it doesn't count any of them.
Okay. That's
right.
usually what it
Yeah.
is. When you have the two-way conversation about and they're no longer a lead, because remember, leads are haven't mets. You haven't validated, had a two-way conversation. Mets are contacts. Usually it's that uncheck the button that makes the reporting work. So I would love to see that. b.silva@kw.com or salty@kw.com. Pick one. Go through the website. But I'd love to see that. Who's your market center tech trainer?
It's Melanie Ruiz.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm seeing her today, so I'll catch up with her too. But
Yeah, because I have the ability to
Spirit
pull
of
up some of the tickets, so I want to see it and see why it's not working.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. All right, let's do this. Let's take a 10-minute noodle break. Let's come back at 10:12. Go stretch your noodles, your legs, your brain noodles, and come back and we'll dive into the rest of the material. It is going to be a shorter day with this stuff. I don't think you should break into rooms unless you guys want to. Do you want to get real estate nerdy and sit with other friends and calculate GCI? Nah, I mean, you can. I'll do whatever you want to do. But I think these are some of the things you should sit there and calculate at night. All right, go stretch your noodles. We'll see you soon.
Cody, what are you doing?
Your poor dog. Leave your poor dog alone, Steve.
Oh, come on. He's trying. Looks like he's trying to jump out the window.
Isabel, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of going to appointments right now.
Fun.
But I should have a house and it's under agreement, and it's expected to close October 22nd, I believe. I can't remember the exact date. And I just wanted to know, like, what would be the breakout down cost to all this? I know it's depending on the market center.
Yeah, so definitely on, let me see, what page? Let me look at my book, because there's an actual breakout page that tells you what to put aside. Let me just read the manual real quick because it's different than mine.
You know, what would be like the commission breakdown? Because I know we get 50% of the commission for the first, I think, until we hit the cap, right?
It depends. So every market center has different, every productivity coach has different, right? Like it's so variable. So what you will get outside of the Alta is you should have a commission sheet. When you put things into command, you'll be able to see the exact breakdown and what's going to come to you as a check. So that's going to be different. So when you are in, what market center are you in?
I'm in the Westford. Massachusetts.
I was just there yesterday.
You were?
I
Oh,
taught
no.
all day.
Hi,
Oh,
Isabel. Yeah, it's
because
the first, it's 50, you're right, it's 50% just for the first 4 transactions.
Right. Thank you.
Yep. So there's a commission sheet. So when you work with Deb, not that Deb, the other Deb, Coach Deb, and you
Yeah.
put, I'm sure Debbie will help you as well. But when you have an offer accepted and you put everything in, a commission sheet will pop up. And that's where you're going to put if there's referrals and different things. So that's going to give you the whole breakdown.
Because the offer was already accepted, but I didn't see the commission sheet pop up. The
So
offer
you
was
have to go to the next
accepted, it's
tab.
under agreement.
Yep. So when you go to the next tab, hold on, I'll pull it up real quick on mine. Let me pull up an opportunity real quick. I think it's in the tab next to documents, if I remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's offers and commissions, and then when you're in the commission, you then go manage commission.
Thank
And
you.
it-
Okay.
When
All
you
right.
put the offer,
I did
you have to
see
accept
that.
it. Okay, yep. So you have to accept it in the offer as well. It'd be accepted
Right,
offer,
yeah.
then manage. Okay,
I
cool.
saw that. And then I
Okay.
put in the 2% commission.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll give me the breakdown after
Yep.
my market center reviews it, right? Because I
Yep.
sent the opportunity already and the
Yep.
first phase is already approved.
Perfect. Yep. No, and then you'll see everything, and then you'll see it on your commission statement that the MCA usually provides. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I
No
also
problem.
have the home inspection today too. So it's moving very, very quickly.
It does.
Yeah. So
It moves
hopefully,
so
you know,
fast.
everything will work out with the home inspection. I have that in a couple of hours.
And
So
this
I'm
is
trying to prepare for
why.
everything.
That's okay. It's on the YouTubes. I'll pop that in the channel, but you guys can always get to it on the Facebook and
Yeah.
everywhere else. And this is why, guys, things move fast. Things move so fast in real estate. And, you know, like you guys get sick of hearing us harp on you about time blocking. But outside of the
It's
things you're
important.
doing, it is so important because all of a sudden 3 weeks go by and the dust is settling and you're like, I haven't logged a mile. Now I have to go back if I'm not
Yes.
using an app and figure it out. Now, oh my God, what did I spend on the closing gift? What did I spend on my thank you? Like now panic, right? And that's when we become stressful business owners and stressed out because we're not doing the activities daily we need to do to run our business, right? We have to lead gen and then we have to run our business. So good luck today, Isabel. Debbie will catch you up on whatever you're missing, and then don't forget to watch the rest of this.
Yeah, I will definitely. But I just have one more question in
Go for it.
regards to income taxes and everything. So I have 2 jobs. I also have another job, in which I drive a lot for that too. So I would track my mileage on 2 separate logs.
No, this is why I love Hurdler so much, is because you would swipe it and just change where it is. So if it's job 1, swipe, job 2, swipe,
Okay.
and you can go in and categorize it. Is this a KW thing, or is this a different business thing, or is this personal? Me schlepping my kids around everywhere they had to go, right? I can determine which one. So it's one app to rule them all.
And you're right, with the buyer agent does so much driving. And I haven't been keeping track. I do have all my addresses down so I can follow, you know,
Yeah.
calculate it that
Manually
way.
add them. You can manually go
Yeah.
right in and add them.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your help.
No
You're
problem.
doing great.
Kick butt today. Kick butt today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. Everybody's noodly stretched. Your legs feel great. Your brains feel better. We had bio breaks. Let's talk about the do not call list before I get into anything else. You're going to start seeing this, guys, everywhere. It's going to be in all our trainings. I am not a lawyer. I am not licensed to talk about it, but I can tell you this. Don't mess around with the do not call and cold. And if people tell you do not call me anymore, hasta la vista, bye-bye, do not call. Do not market. You can get in some big trouble and those fines are heavy, right? So just don't mess around. There's most market centers subscribe to the do not call list. You can go to do not call registry, Google it, check before you call if you didn't get prior permission to contact these people, right? So if they didn't click on an ad, if they didn't sign in and agree, if they did not request information, you do not have implied permission. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. Oh, let's get our little PowerPoint back up. All right. Let's talk. So, you know, Jen and I, we love ahas. We love ahas. So just give me one aha about financials today that you've learned so far that you're going to immediately deploy into your business when you leave with me today. One thing.
I'm definitely gonna download the app for the millage
Good.
and open my account. Yeah.
Yay! I'm going to call you tomorrow.
Hey.
I will. Saturday. Because today's Friday, right? Is today Friday? Yes.
Yes.
There are no days off in real estate.
No,
Sorry,
Brooke, it's only Tuesday. You're in a nightmare. You have to live the week over again.
Groundhog Day. I would do it over and over. Yesterday was so much fun. I love what I do. All right, one more aha. What are you going to put into your business immediately?
I'm going to finally organize my bank accounts.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, we have a couple of people that are going to track everything. We have a couple of people that are going to be opening new checking and savings accounts today. And we've got some that are going to get hurdle.
Yep. I love her. I love it. I love it. Guys, just find something and do it. I like it. I've tried so many apps over the years. That's the one that has stuck with me and is just easy. I also use a free accounting software called Wave. And Wave, it's like QuickBooks or Quicken and all these things. It doesn't do things. We don't need to do invoicing. I'm not invoicing anybody or doing bigger things. So why would I pay all the money for a bigger program right now if I don't need it? So I use Wave accounting for everything I do. It's free. It's free. You can connect, right? And you can connect it with Hurdler and all these things, or Hurdle. I call it Hurdler. I don't know why. All right, those are some good ahas. I'm very happy to hear that you will be adding a checking account to your world. And nobody put in reach out to an accountant to even have a talk. Because remember, they will consult with you in the beginning. That first conversation is usually no cost to you. Make some great relationships, guys. Everybody should be using accountants in your world. Add them to your big, juicy cheeseburger. Right, Sean? Put your accountant in your cheeseburger. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, replay yesterday's tech class. Okay? All right, so how are we going to set your careers on fire? Un fuego. Ignite. It's fire. It's all about fire, right? Getting you guys up and running fast. And one of the ways we're going to do that is if you did these things every day at the base level and you tracked it. Now, guys, you can't just do it. You have to track it. What some of our friends learned yesterday is that they have scratch level base databases. What we want is for you guys to have data banks, right? Because as Charles mentioned earlier, there is no 401k. Your data bank is your 401kW. And there's going to be a point in your life where you don't want to be doing this every day and you want to sit back and get rewarded for all your effort. If you've got a database that has holes everywhere, that has got blank spots, no tags, no information, no activities, and you have no idea how people got there, you're never going to be able to sell your data bank and retain referral rights. We want you guys to have data banks, okay? 10 contacts a day added. How many of you are on the growth call Monday? If you were not, I'm going to pop the link up for you guys. This is the memory jogger. And we talked about this in yesterday's tech class as well. If you want to replay that, the best. If you don't know who to add, start here. And I promise you, as you start thinking about these people, it's just going to roll and roll and roll. Get them as healthy as you can. The other thing I'll give you guys is the link to the healthy contacts sheet. This is the cheat sheet that shows you how to get everybody up to 100%. 100%. It's easy. But everybody's like, I'm missing it by 4%. What am I missing? The other great thing this does is build your vendor list at the same time, because one of the categories is what is their profession or where do they work? Vendor list, okay? 10 conversations a day. Your animals in your house do not count. Practice on them, but these are not the ones you're logging in command. If you're having conversations and they're important to your business, make sure you add those people to command and the activities. So let's pull up command and show you guys that. Call back to the Chromies. Again, my data bank is a testing one. It may not always look the same as yours. All right, share. Okay. I'm doing my lead gen. I'm being a great agent. So I'm using smart plans. My tasks are there, so I'm checking those tasks off, and it brought me to this guy, okay? I have a ton of tags. I have a ton of notes, a ton of info. I can see what this guy is doing and how he is interacting in my real estate business. I call this the heavy lifting of command, because this is like a giant metal filing cabinet that rolls around with you, and it's got everything you need to know. It's got dates of transactions, deals that may have gone through, or properties they put offers in. And it's just a life cycle of your entire relationship. Think of this as the big old metal filing cabinet that you put on a dolly and you're wheeling it around behind you. You can sort this by how you want to see it. And now what some of our friends have been learning in the class is that while you guys are fantastic agents, you're not logging your activities. So therefore you have a database and not a data bank. You need to log your activities or they didn't happen. I don't believe you. If you didn't log it, it didn't happen. End of story. How do you log an activity? Simple. You click this plus button that's on the very bottom right, and it's the money. It's the money sign, okay? You're going to add what type of interaction. Did you actually meet with someone? Did you have a call? Did you have an email that's outside of the system? A text or a quick note? Pop buys. Has anybody learned about what pop buys are? Not pop eyes with the muscles. Pop buys. Tiny little gifts. Punny as hell. They make me giggle. I love them. I think they're amazing when done correctly. Use meeting and use that as your, and then put in the notes dropped off pop by. Add a tag. If you look over here, you can see I've got pop by January 2020. Every time we do Popeyes, we add a tag to those people so we know. Send them a text. Hey, left a little gift for you. Beep, where it is so they can find it at their house. You can sort by those activities, okay? You can say, I want to see all my meetings. I want to see all my, oh my God, sometimes I wonder what's in here. All my calls. No answer. Blah, 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 blah. Worst client ever. This is my husband, by the way. Okay. Called to tell him he smells bad. We do all kinds. This is my training, right? Contacted. Let's see what other things we got. Texts, right? If you were using an automated text, which I don't think is an expense you guys need in the very beginning, please, please, please log those texts. And then you can also see things like, are they searching for neighborhoods on the things you're sending out in your website, on your app? And I can see the different things he's doing. So much information here. Those activities, except for Charles, will go back to all these reports. And it's going to give you a snapshot of where you get your business from. How long does it take you to get them from appointment to sale? And what does the relationship look like? This is also the place where you can put those smart plans on, right? At the base level, quarterly call plan, monthly neighborhood nurture, and a birthday. You will always win with those. My other big tip is make sure if you're going to put a quick note that says sent handwritten note card, you come over to the notes and you add a note that says note card. Maybe it's a bulldog on the front, and you're going to say, briefly, what did the note say? Because often in our world, if we're sending 10 handwritten note cards a day, you're probably going to write the same thing constantly. It becomes almost a habit of what you're going to say. This can get you in trouble. Because if you run into someone in the grocery store and you drop a note that says, oh my God, it was so great running into you in the grocery store. And then 3 months later, you run into them in the grocery store, you run out to your car, you write it down so you don't forget. Oh my God, it was so nice running into you in the grocery store. They're going to be like, this person is an idiot and does not care about me. Right? I like to go to people's Facebook. I like to poke around, see what's going on in their lives. If it's somebody who's in my sphere and it's somebody who I am doing business with or have relationships with, we're probably on Facebook. But even if we're not friends, they're on Facebook. Go take a peek at what they're doing. Almost no one knows how to put themselves in lockdown for privacy settings. The info's out there. Go look at what they're doing, right? Or look at previous conversations and say, was going through my notes, realized I haven't spoken to you in a while. Hope all is well, blah, blah, blah. Note cards. Note cards win, okay? Put that in here. Note about running into them in grocery store. Because it's okay to say that in the note, but maybe you add, how funny is it that we are always grocery shopping at the same time? See you next time. I might switch up my grocery shopping day to Saturdays, right? Something silly to, yes, we're grocery shopping, but now you've labeled it and you know what they talk to them about, okay? And that goes in there. You can edit notes now and delete them. So if this was a test note and I needed to go by, this is permanent, friends. I can't get this back. You cannot get this back if you do that, okay? So just be careful. How many of you are logging activities? Steve, raise your hand. Bad.
I thought you were asking everyone else, not me.
It's okay if you're not. Did you guys know you can install Chrome on your iPhones? If you're on an Android, it's built in. Bookmark agent.kw.com and go to contacts. While not all parts of command will work on a phone, it is not built for tablets or phones right now. You can at least log these activities, right? So I have it bookmarked and dragged right to where my phone is next to it. I open that bookmark, it opens in Chrome, it remembers my cookie. Off I go, I find the person, I notate it. So agent.kw.com is how you get into command. Bookmark it. If you're going through my KW, stop that. That's bad. Don't do that. Go straight. Go right in. My KW is going to go away at some point in our lives. Everything's going to live inside, connect inside command. Okay? So then you can log those interactions right away. No excuses. I've never seen a realtor without their phone. I have never seen a realtor or a 17-year-old without their phone. They're like the same when it comes to it. I have a 17-year-old. He always has his phone in his hand. Okay. So agent.kw.com.
Brooke, I got a quick question for you.
Maybe.
Is there a limit on how many tags you can give a client?
No. But I'm going to tell you to think about those tags and how important they are. In the class I taught yesterday, we talk a lot about hobby tags. And if you're looking at mine, you're probably like, what is wrong with this girl? What is wrong with this girl?
You want me to share my tags?
I would love for you to drop the link in and talk about the tags, because tags are how we bring value. It's a completely different class. It's a completely different thing. But these tags are going to tell you about the things you can talk about. Because guys, did you know, this is going to be hard. Everybody take a deep breath about what I'm about to say. Do you know you're allowed to not talk about real estate? I know, take a deep breath, friends. I know, grab a paper bag, breathe. It's okay. It's okay to talk about things that are not real estate based when you call people. Because if we're only talking about real estate, those are our needs, right? We want people to buy and sell homes. But when we start looking at things like these insane tags I have, barbecue fan, wants an ocean house, likes baseball, went to West High in New Hampshire, is a firefighter, is a paramedic, is a lobster lover. When I know things about people, it is so much easier to pick up the phone and be like, oh my God, Steve, this weekend, Lobster Taco Truck Festival. Lobster Taco Truck Festival. Will I see you there? Oh my God, Brooke, I didn't know. I know, right? I'll see you there. So now I'm not asking in every conversation to buy, sell, invest, or refer someone to do those things. It is okay to not barf real estate 24/7 on the people we want, because our job is not to just sell houses. That's not our main role. Our main role in business and what we do every single day is to create relationships. The benefit is that they buy and sell and invest and refer because we have brought value, huge value. If you are acid spitting and vomiting real estate 24/7, that is your goal. That is inward facing you. That is what we want to do. I'm giving you permission to be a human being. I'm giving permission to be a human being and not barf real estate 24/7. More relationships, better. Do we have to talk about real estate? Absolutely. It's what we do. It's our jobs. But what we don't have to do is hurt the relationships we have. Steve, this came up yesterday, and this is one of my favorite questions because somebody said, my family doesn't want to use me in real estate. I said, okay, well, let's talk about the conversations you've had with them about real estate. What did the first phone call look like? Oh, I didn't call them. Okay, so we didn't call them to tell them we're in real estate. Did you send an email to your family and ask and tell them how they can support you in real estate? No. Okay, so now we're scary because now we just became the Cutco knife kid and we became the Kirby vacuum salesperson and the Rainbow vacuum, right? Our family does not know how to support us. We are scary because they think every time we call now, we're going to ask for something. Here's your ask as a brand new agent to your family and friends and the people who love and trust you the most. Steve, ready? Ready to role play?
I'm ready.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Steve, it's Brooke. How you doing?
Oh my God, my house is on fire. I have to leave. Bye.
No, it doesn't. That's a lie. I'm looking across the street from you, neighbor. We've lived here for 30 years. If you're on fire, I'm on fire. So, as you probably knew from my Facebook, I just wanted you to know from me that I'm excited to be in real estate now. Did you see my Facebook post?
Yes, I did. Congratulations. I hope you do well.
I hope I do too. And you know, Steve, I know you're probably scared when you saw my name pop up thinking I was going to ask you to buy or sell something, but that's not what I'm doing. I trust you. I love you. And I'm hoping that I can add you to my email list or ask you to follow me so that way if you see something that doesn't sound right, that isn't my voice, or just feels off, that you will come back to me and tell me I'm being a bonehead. Is that something you think you could do for me?
Look for an opportunity to call you a bonehead and not have
Absolutely.
you be mad at me? Of course.
Absolutely. You know, I'm learning. I'm going to make mistakes. So I really appreciate you telling me when I make those mistakes because a client may not do that, but because I love you and I know you love me, you will do that. So I really appreciate it. What email do you want me to put you on the email list with? Aha, we can stop there. Right, guys? We got to tell the people who love and support us what to do so that way they're not scared to pick up the phone. They're not scared when you call. And then they feel like they are helping you by sharing things on your social media. They're going to read your emails to see if you are being a bonehead. You don't have to say that. That's Steve and I's relationship, right? Ask them to support you in non-financial ways. Ask for the help. It will be reciprocated back, okay? Because eventually they're reading all those emails. They're reading and sharing your Facebook posts. So now when coworker Sally says, oh, I'm so sick of the winter, I think I want to pack up and move, you're going to be like, oh, my neighbor Brooke, not a bonehead. Can I share your information? Now you're building your referral business. And the people who love you and respect you the most and you trust are going to tell you if there is a spelling mistake because now you gave them permission to. Okay, that's my mom. Doris calls the newspapers to tell them they spelled something wrong. Good old Dottie, okay? Questions on anything we went over, guys, or anything that had to do with the command. If you want me to bring command back up and show you anything with tags or how to put those activities in.
I had a question. It's a little bit complicated, but maybe you guys can help me untangle it a little bit.
We love complicated.
So before my husband and I became realtors, we were like investors. And we spoke and we're trying to teach financial freedom to like first-time home buyers, but also making that connection with the investors. So in terms of like business bank accounts, would it be feasible to have the one account under the LLC that we have that also attracts investors, first-time home buyers, and potential sellers? Because the financial freedom is specifically to help like
It's your
people,
lead funnel.
right? Besides us being realtors on our own with customers.
So your Facebook page, so that so here's the only thing. Some states, wherever you talk about your real estate, you have to put your DBA logo. You have to put all your compliance information. So I would just make sure that you check with your broker first on how to do that, just to make sure whatever state you're in, you are following local state laws and also the franchisee logo, right? If you put the logo out, you have to have each office is independently owned and operated. I would check with your broker on that, since that's a unique lead funnel from there, and go from there.
Thank you.
Just because of so many state laws, right? If Connecticut, like, like there's so many weird state laws, Rhode Island, they're all different. So I would just double check with your broker. They'll know the way to happiness on that one.
And as far as the bank accounts go, that's really something you want to talk to an accountant about, on how you want to set that up.
Okay, thank you.
Right, because are you rolling your real estate business under the LLC as well? Or are you separating it out?
We are separating it.
I would have a separate account, but again, check with your CPA on that one. Yeah. To really dig into that.
Okay, Kelly Duffy has a question.
Hit me. Am
I on mute?
No, well, you there. What?
I actually figured it out, but I do about the color coding on the tags. You got a whole video on that, color coding on the tags?
So there's a couple ways you can play with tags. I am a psycho. I really just don't care about the colors. I just like colors and seeing different things. They mean nothing. This is a training database. In my husband's, however, they are clean. Anything that has to do with KW is in red. Hobbies are in blue. Like we do have it separated out in his data bank a little different. You can add a tag in a contact, right? So I search, okay? So if this guy's mean and I want to put that he's mean as a contact, as a tag, I can do that. I create the custom tag, I choose the color, and I add it. So this is the one step people miss, is using this add button. If you don't click add, it doesn't put it in your tag database. So then you click that, and now we've got a tag on here telling me this guy's mean, okay? Then I click save. Now we've got that mean tag right on him. Now maybe I've been like a little cuckoo and just putting a ton of tags in. You can edit those. Now if somebody has a tag on them, you cannot delete a tag. So you would have to remove the tag from people. You can bulk remove. So you would sort your database by mean people, sort it, uncheck, remove as a bulk action. But under settings, you can edit tags as a whole. Maybe you're one of those who are like, oh my God, it's a lowercase m and this should be an uppercase M for meanies. So when you go up to your name and you go to settings, we can get into the tags. So under command settings and under contacts, there are contact tags. Now, if you're on a team, this may look a little different for you. So double check with your rainmaker or someone who runs the team on how they want you to use tags, because sometimes they do shut that down so that there aren't 3,000 versions of the word dog, dog lover, doggy daycare, right? So that they're not, so the database stays clean. So when you're in contact tags, you can create from here. So if you're like, I know I want these 10 tags on people, holiday list, client gratitude, first time home buyers, all these different ones, you can put them in there right away by creating tag. The other thing you can do is let's search for the mean guy one we just made. If you hover all the way over to the right and you see the pencil, you can go in here and update it and even change the color. Okay, so now we know it's going to be yellow, and I uppercase the M in mean.
I got another question.
Yep.
My background is database administrator, so I understand databases pretty good. But when I was adding these in, it didn't seem like it had a first name and a last name separate field. It was like the whole name. Was I wrong on that?
No, you're right. It takes the name in and then it breaks it up for you.
Yep.
Oh, it does.
Yep.
Okay.
So if we look at AJ here, you see there's two separate, but it just puts it in as one.
Right. Okay. I understand what that does. Is there a mapping for the background of this database?
Mapping as in you want to do an import, or you just want to know how it works?
Both.
So if you've already got contacts in, I'm going to tell you just to be very careful. There is no merge and remove duplicates. So when you are in contacts and you go to import, if you click this download button, it gives you the CSV needed. Now guys, as new agents, I never recommend this unless you're coming over from a career in real estate, because here's why. You're going to dump everyone in. It's just everybody you're going to put in there, and maybe you don't have emails for everyone. You don't have phone numbers for everyone. The other thing is, oftentimes, I've been seeing this all the time, and this one blows my mind. People are putting emoticons in people's names. What that does is in a CSV, it spits out gobbledygook, all these symbols.
What's
You
a
are not
emoticon?
like a heart, a hot dog, like the little house. Like I went to go clean a sheet up the other day and I was like, what is all this? And that's a lot of manual work. So if you do want to import, the other thing is you cannot change the columns. You cannot move them. You cannot add to them. If you are in zip code, make sure you have a leading 0. If it's phone number, make sure you format it as phone number. But when my agents are doing this, they're putting garbage into their databases, and then they're coming to us in 3-4 months going, I wish I had never done this import. And then
clean it up before you import it.
Exactly.
Like
And here's my other trick is if you're going to do that, there's a place that says custom tags. Make a tag, put it on every one that says import _ month year. So that way, if you do need to delete it, you can sort by that import tag and archive them. A lot of people don't take that extra step. But yes, garbage in, garbage out.
Another question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very new. Like I'm not even a month yet, or just around a month.
You're just a baby.
Paradigm, and this has been taking me a while. It's like I've been showing houses and I set them up in Paradigm, but those databases are not talking to one another. I can't bring.
Nope.
I have to just copy paste. I have to.
Yep. So any of the MLSs, did you know you can put them on a save search writing command though?
Wait. No, show me that.
So when you're in any of your clients, the very last tab is save search. So you can create a save search multiple different ways for your clients and how they want to receive that. When you click the button, you can say, I want to search by zip code.
We can't see what you're doing.
I'm a dippo. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So I'm in my contact. Save searches is the last tab.
Yeah.
Okay. You click the create save search. I'm going to change this to zip code. Okay. Here's what's the minimum price? What's the maximum price? Then you can go in and do the things, right? Pool, yard, whatever the keywords are that you do in the search. Property types. No way, no way. No, 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 no. It defaults to all of them. Okay. For sale, 2 beds, 2 baths. Between there and any. right? Has parking, blah, 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 blah. Call it what it is. Wilmington test search, whatever it is. Who's the primary? And then make sure you check that box, send email notifications. If you don't set them to have notifications, they're never going to get the saved search. So how do you want them to get it? Instant when something hits the market that hits that? And ask your people. This is up to your clients, not you. Listen, when you're looking at these emails I'm going to send you with properties, how often do you want to be notified? Do you want to see it daily or as soon as it hits the market? So that will also give you a temperature on how aggressive they are on doing this, right? So you can see instantly within 30 minutes of it hitting the MLS and talking to command. Daily by 9 a.m. Central, okay? Central. Almost everything we do in command is Central time. Bi-weekly, monthly. Now, great. Create the save search. And now Adam is going to get anytime something hits in that zip code with those parameters within 30 minutes, he's going to get that email as save search.
So can we go back? Do we have a history that we can see what we've sent them?
Yep, right here. Everything.
So email. So if we click on that, we'll see the actual listings.
No, you will not because they change. So if you want to see them, you can always set yourself up on the same thing. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, you will see what they opened.
Sorry, exactly.
You won't see the actual email that goes out to them that says, here are 5 houses. But what you will see is if they opened up the email and if they looked at one of the houses.
Yep. See, it says right here, favorited a listing, view the neighborhood, different things.
So this is almost better than that collaboration on Paradigm.
It's just different. There are a lot of people who want everything in one spot, and that's what Command does for you. Command is more than a CRM, right? Command is your business platform, end to end, from meeting people to closing the deal to restarting the relationship. It's your marketing department. It's your goals department. It's your leverage. It really is. So, I can see that yesterday Adam favorited this property. So now I can peek at it on the MLS KWLS viewing command and see what he's looking at. See if I can get him into an open house, make a phone call. What I really love about doing this is that when I look at my contacts, I can sort them by recently active. So I'm looking at, okay, when's the last time somebody did something based on something I sent from command? Monthly neighborhood nurture, biweekly neighborhood nurture, website touches, app touches, or save searches. You can't set up multi-parameters. So I can't say I want you to look at 01887, 01888, and 20214 and do XYZ. You do have to set up the different locations a little separate. I like it that way. I think it looks cleaner in the inbox when I see a save search for XYZ. Also, I urge you guys to put yourself in to command with your personal email and set yourself up on some searches where you would get hits. Be very, broad about these hits so you can see what it looks like to get these emails on any of the things you would send. So you know what it looks like, because you never want a client to be like, oh my God, I got that email, and then start yakking your ear off and you're like, I have no freaking clue what they're talking about. Right? Make sure you're on all of these. But I like these save searches. I love them. I love them. I love them.
Was there something else you were going to say, Steve? I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
We're good at that.
No, it's everything's covered there. No, there was one more thing I was going to say. You'll sometimes see that they open a house twice. That means you have to call them and say, hey, I noticed you'd like 25 Smith Street. Would you like to go see it this weekend?
Yeah.
Don't say, oh, you opened it 4 times. That freaks them out.
Don't be creepy. Don't be creepy.
And when you're first talking to the client and you tell them, I'm going to put you in my database and I'm going to set you up on a search, let them know that if they click any of the buttons, show it to me, send me more information, whatever, that you as the agent will get that message.
Yep.
So that they're prepared for when you call and say, hey, I see you like this property. Would you like to go see it? They're not gonna be like, oh my God, did Brooke take my camera over in the middle of the night and she's watching everything I do?
I put a ring on your house. I'm watching you.
Okay, so I actually created a website for myself last night, and I was looking at it this morning, and somehow it brings me to my KW app. But I don't know where my KW app is and how I set it up. I don't even know how I.
So let me go over the shallow just so you can see it, because we're done with our big part of command today. You've got your homework: bank accounts, apps, tracking, contacts, things you're supposed to be doing, getting comfortable with the financials. Your app is already created for you. Your website's already created for you in command, as long as your marketing profile is done. How many of you have completed your marketing profile? Okay, and I'm going to tell you this loud, 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 so listen. You don't need to buy a website from anybody else. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You don't need to buy a website. You don't need to buy a website. You don't need to buy a website. You don't need to create a website. You know why? None of us are real estate data experts who live in the world of web design and consumer needs. So if you got one, get rid of it, because I'm going to rock your world. Why do consumers love to go to Z who shall not be named?
Because it's easy.
Because it's easy, and they don't have to give up blood type, hair samples, and their firstborn to get information. This is going to hurt, friends. This is going to hurt. They don't care about you. They care about searching for properties. That's what people at the base level of what they're doing when they're drinking a bottle of wine and they're sick of their house and they're online browsing at night care about, is searching for properties.
So Linda, Carol, Lerdish, what did I say yesterday in class?
Nobody cares about you. So agents who have been doing this a long time are like, I want them to see me first. No, you don't. The psychology is you want them to see properties first, get curious, and then you get the info. So as long as your marketing profile is done and you've toggled the little green switch in your marketing profile that says, use my information to brand my agent site, this starts to pre-populate for you. Hit the red KW. It shows you all the words that go to the icons. Go to consumer. And again, we have classes on this, so I'm just showing you real quick. You can configure your site if you haven't done it at the top right, and it literally walks you through, do you want red or black? What do you want it to say when they're searching? Do you like these pictures? This is what your contact me page looks like. And then you click go, and within 15 to 30 minutes, because it has to reach the web and talk back and forth to command and be built, you are a web designer, and it looks fantastic. So this is what they look like, right? The first thing your consumer is going to be able to do is search for a property. Okay. Now I can see everything that's into Wilmington, Mass. I just brought up everything. And guess what, guys? This is correct information. This is correct information based on the MLS. This isn't a Zenstimate. This isn't what you can sell your house for. This is real information about properties. By default, it does not show pending. So if you are interested in seeing pending, go there. If you want to show someone a property, guess what? Text them the link to the property from here. Send it from your app. It's going to look the same once you have all your marketing done. They can contact you. They can log in. When they log in, you get a check mark next to their name. Then you can see all what they're liking, loving, hiding, browsing. You don't need to create your own website. You don't need to pay for an app. It's all here, and then it's connected back to command. All the things my dudes are doing are going to come back to contacts, and I'm going to know the people who are recently active and doing things, and I can check in on what they're doing. Super simple, super fast. If you need help, speak to your Market Center Tech Trainer first. We also, if you look up Marty Miller's 66-Day Challenge 5.0, there's information in there for you. Tons of information on Connect. Also, there's information on our KW New England Facebook page on how to create these things. But if you click that configure my site, it is literally step by step by step. If you can't go forward, it's because you're missing a box of information. like your bio or your license number. It will not publish without a license number. And then here's the other thing. Put these links out. Add it to your email signature. Quickly and easily search for properties here. Link. Don't get caught up on things like personal domains, because you know what? Most people are only going to get to your website because you're sharing something or they're clicking on something. Most people do not memorize the websites. They Google things or they tap or click on things. Browsing behavior, right? Don't overthink the websites. Get the information out to them. That easy? It's so easy. I think we have a class coming up on that in one of our upcoming tech series too. But if you need it faster, talk to your Market Center tech trainer. Kelly, what Market Center are you in?
440 Gateway, Keller Williams Gateway, Salem, New Hampshire.
Absolutely. So talk to Allison, Paige, or Ash. One of them can get you rocking and rolling with the information you need to get that going. Lisa,
Well,
I love those people.
I'm shadowing an open house this weekend. It's a $2.2 million home. And so I put it up on my Facebook page and I did a boost and I moved it. The boost was in Boston. I tried to hit the Boston area because I know a lot of people want to come up. I'm trying to learn marketing on top of all this real estate stuff. Like marketing is all new to me.
Yep. And is this your first session of Ignite, or have you been in the process?
Ignite? What?
Yeah. This series, have you been here all along?
I've been popping in and out because I have to take mandatory classes and I didn't want to miss those, or else I have to wait another 5 weeks for it to come around. So I've been in and out.
Yeah. No, so replay these, because you know what? There's no way any of us can dump all of our real estate knowledge into you guys one at a time. Focus on doing things like making sure your financials and you got good habits, making sure you understand what a healthy database looks like, and putting the effort into getting your 10 contacts a day, having 10 conversations, 10 handwritten notes. Really get your business basics, and then the rest follow. They really do. Take the classes at your Market Center. You've got great education. We all do. And reach out to your Market Center tech trainers. Follow us. So I'll put the 2 Facebook groups. So if you have not joined the growth call, who here is on the growth call?
I am.
Oh my gosh. I'll give you everything you need. I give you social media posts, give you scripts and dialogue. We have top producers on there. And guys, I give away something every week, whether I have permission to or not. I give away things like classes, bold, swag, time with me, magazines. You want something? I got you. I got you. And if you can't make it, you can replay it on our YouTube channel. The other great thing is the Ignite Facebook group. This is a great place to ask information of your peers of something you may not have missed. There's a lot of people on here who, one, teach Ignite, have been through Ignite, or may have the same question you do. I'm going to pop up the YouTube page as well. You can see all my shenanigans and all the classes and different replays of anything. So if you can't make the MREA clinic live, replay. Okay?
Brooke, I sometimes I have a hard time to find my name on the Facebook page that I created for business. So I don't know if it's something wrong. It's just sometimes it's a hard time to
find it. Steve, the next time you work, can you pin it?
You broke up. Can you say that again?
The next time you work with Lourdes, can you pin her Facebook page for her or show her how to do that?
Sure.
Cool. Steve will help you.
And you got a question on the chat. Who's the MCTT in the Burlington area?
So Josh is your AMCA MCTT. He's fantastic. So if he can't get to it, he usually will get things to me. And yeah, and I was just up there, and I'm coming back up north to Vermont for a big all-day boot camp that gets you through everything you need to know. So watch for that. Ask Heather or Beth what the dates are, because I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, friends, I'm giving you this time to do a few things. Open your bank account. Go do it. It doesn't hurt. I promise. Go Go open the bank accounts. More important, make sure you share that new account information for deposits and invoice payments to come out with your MCA so they can update the information. Okay? Then look at Hurdle in Command. Look at having different accounting software. Then also look at a schedule of upcoming classes going on in your market center. If you don't see something you need, ask, because we probably have it going on at another market center and we share. If there's a Zoom, you can pop into it. Or if you need it, we'll bring it to you at the regional level. So thank you so much to all of you. Thank you to my best buddy, Steve, who's always just the best. I love you, Steve. All right, guys, we will see you on the next one, which is the last one, I think, right? 9? Was this 8?
Yes.
Awesome. You guys are killing it. Go out there and be good. Go build relationships. Bye. Stop barfing real estate. Bye,
Thank
Jeff.
you. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Go be badass realtor relationship monsters.